Today we're going to be looking at Lesson 2, Adding Integers. We have two objectives in this lesson, and I'll probably encourage you to stop after the first objective and do the homework that goes with that objective, and then come back later and look at Objective 2. Objective 1 is to add integers using a number line. So you might have a problem that says, use the number line to find the sum, and then you have something like -6 plus 4 equals something, and we'll use the number line to find out what that is. Objective 2 is using rules to add integers. Sometimes we'll be working with numbers that are too large to comfortably use the number line, so it's helpful to have some rules about what we do if we're adding numbers and one of them is negative. So we'll be talking about those rules in the second part of this video. To use a number line to add integers, these are the steps that you're going to follow. Anytime you're using the number line, you're going to start at 0. Then you're going to move the distance of the first number. If the number is positive, you're going to move to the right. And if the number is negative, you're going to move to the left. Now, normally when we add, we move to the right, but if the second number is not positive, we're not going to move to the right. So the third step tells us to move the distance of the second number. If the second number is positive, we're going to move right because we're adding a positive number. However, if it is negative, we're going to move to the left. So when we're adding integers, we move to the right for positive numbers and to the left for negative numbers. Let's look at some examples. The first example is just two positive numbers. If you used a number line in elementary school, this should look familiar to you. So, step 1, start at 0. Step 2, move the distance of the first number. The first number is +3, so we're going to move 3 units to the right. Step 2, move the distance of the second number. The second number is +5, so we're going to move 5 units to the right. I'm going to use a different color here so you can see the second one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right. So 3 plus 5 equals 8. Next, let's look at the example immediately below this, -3 plus 5. So step 1, start at 0. The first number is negative, so we're going to move 3 units to the left. 1, 2, 3. Step 2, move the distance of the second number. Second number is +5, so we're going to move 5 units to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. -3 plus 5 is 2. Negative numbers we can think of in terms of money. So if the number is negative, it means we owe money. If it's positive, it means we got some money. So -3, we owe someone $3. Number 5, now we got $5, so we pay back we pay back the $3, and then we still have 2 left for ourselves. Next example, we have 5 plus -4. We're going to start at 0, move the distance of the first number, which is +5, and then we are going to move the distance of the second number. It's -4, so we're going to move to the left 4 units. 5 plus -4 equals 1. This is like we have $5 and now we have to pay someone $4, so we have $1 left. Okay, next example, start at 0, move the distance, whoops, a little glitch there, move the distance of the first number, so -3, we're going to go 3 units to the left, and now we're going to move the distance of the second number, -5, so we're going to go 5 units, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the left. -3 plus -5 is -8. This is like you owe someone $3. Now you owe them $5 more, so you owe them a total of $8. Okay, next example, start at 0, move the distance of the first number, +3, so we move 3 to the right. Now we move the distance of the second number, -5, so we go 5 units to the left. And 3 plus -5 is -2. And our last example, start at 0, move the distance of the first number. It's -5, so we're going to go 5 units to the left. And now we move the distance of the second number, which is -2, so we're going to go 2 more units to the left, and we get -7. -5 plus -2 is -7. Okay, for the quick check, please pause the video, try these examples, and then come back to check to see how you did. Okay, letter A, start at 0. We go 8 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we move 1 unit to the right for an answer of -7. Part B, we start at 0. We move 1 unit to the left. And then we move 7 more units to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we get -8. Last example, you may have recognized these numbers as opposites. We're going to start at 0. We go 6 to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we turn around and we go to the right 6 units, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which of course ends up at 0. And you might remember that from the last lesson that we did, that the sum of opposites is always going to be 0. At this point, you can stop the video. This was the end of part 1, and then you can come back and resume with part 2. If all of this made sense to you, feel free to go on to part 2. Okay, here's part 2 of the video. So this one says, think and share. I want you to take a few minutes. If you're in class, you can share with your neighbor. If you're at home, you just might want to take some time to think about this yourself. I have four equations, and they all use the same 2 numbers, but with different signs. So I want you to look at what the answers are in each case and see if you can come up with the rules for how you get the answers to these problems without using a number line. So pause for a second, see how much of this you can fill in on your own, and then check back to see what the actual answers are. Okay, so our rules for adding integers. You should have noticed, first of all, when both numbers are positive, as in this equation, you're just going to add the numbers. If both numbers are negative, you're still going to add the numbers, but since the numbers were negative to start with, your answer is going to be negative as well. And the third example, I'll switch to a different color here. For both of these, we have different signs. Now the difference between 8 and 9 is just 1 unit. So when the signs are different, we're actually going to find the difference or subtract the numbers, and we're going to keep the sign of the number with the largest absolute value. Now, I'd be surprised if any of you actually came up with the word absolute value there. You might have said which number is largest, or made sense that whichever, like 9 is bigger than 8, so if it's negative, the answer is negative. If it's positive, the answer is positive. But the absolute value of a number is just its distance from 0 on the number line. So in our first example, 9 is further away from 0, or -9 is further away from 0 on the number line than +8 is. So we're going to keep the sign of this larger number, or the number with the largest absolute value, and our answer is going to be negative. In our next example, the 9 still has the largest absolute value. It's positive, so our answer is going to be positive as well. Okay, there's a song that I would like to share with you to help you keep track of what you should do, what the rules are. It's a little simpler than the rules. So I recently learned to play the mandolin like only a week ago. So I'm going to play along with some chords. I'm a little rudimentary here because I'm just learning, but it'll make it sound a little more entertaining. So here's our song. Same signs add and keep, different signs subtract. Take the the sign of the larger number, and then you'll be exact. Same signs add and keep, different signs subtract. Take the sign of the larger number, and then you'll be exact. All right, if you didn't already sing along, I'd like you to do that now. So it can't be as bad as my mandolin playing. So sing along. Same signs add and keep, different signs subtract. Take the sign of the larger number, and then you'll be exact. Same signs add and keep, different signs subtract. Take the sign of the larger number, and then you'll be exact. All right, I hope you enjoyed that little song. I'll have that written up on the board, so we'll refer to that a lot. And it's just it's the tune of Row, Row, Row Your Boat, so you can sing it on your own too. This is something that students in the past have used, and it's been very helpful in having them remember what to do. Okay, let's take a look at this in terms of some examples. So, objective 2, letter A, we have negative 18 plus negative 16. So let's just look back at our rule for a second. Both numbers are negative. So same signs, add and keep. They have the same signs. They're both negative. So same signs, add and keep. So we're going to add the numbers, but keep the sign. So I'm going to forget about the signs for a minute, because if I'm not using a calculator, I'm not good at mental math, I might just want to do 18 plus 16. So 8 plus 6 is 14. And then we have 1, 2, 3. So 18 plus 16 is 34, but we're going to keep the sign. So we're going to write negative 34. And of course, if both numbers were positive, it's just easy addition. Okay, letter B. We have different signs. The first number is negative. The second number is positive. So let's look back at our rules again. What do we do if we have different signs? So we have same signs, add and keep, different signs, subtract. Take the sign of the larger number, and then you'll be exact. So we're going to subtract these numbers, and we're going to use the sign of the larger number. Now, 23 has a larger absolute value than 8. So our answer is going to be negative. So I'm just going to put a negative sign there so I remember. Now, when I subtract, this part kind of confuses people sometimes. I'm always going to write number with the largest absolute value on top and subtract the smaller number, just the way you've learned to do in elementary school. So I'm going to regroup here. I'm going to change this to a 1 and put one of those 10s here. So 13 minus 8 is 5, and then I have 1. So my answer is negative 15. If this problem had said 23 minus 8, the 23 here is positive, so the answer would be positive 15. If it said 23 plus a negative 8, it would be the same thing. I'm going to still subtract the numbers. I'm going to keep the sign of the larger number. So 23 plus negative 8 is the same as 23 minus 8, which is 15. Okay, pause the video, try the quick checks, and then come back and we'll go over them together. Okay, letter A, we have negative 97 plus negative 65. Same signs, add and keep. We have the same signs, negative 97, negative 65. So I'm going to add them, but I'm going to keep the sign. So 97 plus 65. 7 plus 5 is 12. 9 and 1 is 10. Plus 6 is 16. So it's 162. And I already have my negative sign. Part B, I have 21 plus negative 39. I have different signs. I'm going to subtract, keep the sign of the larger number. My larger number is negative, so my answer is going to be negative. 39 minus 21 is 18, so my answer is negative 18. And letter C, you may have noticed that these are just opposites. 22 plus a negative 22 is just going to be 0. Okay, thank you for watching.